Hey, what is happening, everybody? It's your old pal Mr. Butter coming back at you. Today I want to get into a pair of kicks that first caught my eye on GOAT, and they were on my radar then. Then unexpectedly I saw that they were available on Finish Line. They're set to drop on the Nike app on Friday, December the 2nd. So I think this video will be rolling out right before they drop. Today I want to look at the Chenille Swoosh Nike Dunk Low. If you're into kicks and you feel like hanging out, then hit that subscribe button. Let's take a look at these Dunk Lows. I always keep my eye out for releases that dropped overseas that aren't known about yet that maybe I can grab for a good price. I had an offer out for these, I think for $120, which is what they cost for retail. It never got accepted. However, I took that offer down as soon as I was able to grab a pair from Finish Line. It's got a standard box and the tag reads Nike Dunk Low Retro. The color is gray fog, black, and wolf gray. These did retail for 120 bucks, but I was able to use status points to get, I think, $15 off. I'm always a fan of getting bargains when I can. And here they are, the Chenille Swoosh Dunk Lows. There's actually two colorways of these Chenille Swoosh Dunk Lows available. One of them I think has little subtle hits of, I think, purple and maybe even a little bit of green. But when I saw this color combination with the gray fog and then the black, it kind of has color blocking similar to a Dunk Low. But then obviously this Chenille Swoosh is way different than the norm. It's kind of oversized, and as you can tell, it's Chenille, so it's got that fuzzy look to it. I'm always a fan of something that's different, and I've been getting a whole bunch of Dunk Lows because all of a sudden they're easy to get and they're affordable. It seems like maybe people are getting a little bit of dunk fatigue, but this pair is unique, and I've never had a pair that had an oversized swoosh or a Chenille swoosh or anything like that, so I think it's pretty cool. I'm also always a big fan of different texture on shoes. I just think it helps make them more interesting and a little bit more warm looking, if that makes sense. And I just think these came out really well. Along with the colors being cool, I just really like this Chenille Swoosh. It does look like something that you would see on like a Letterman jacket, like a varsity Letterman jacket. But getting into the review, you can see it's a standard Dunk outsole, standard tread pattern. We've all seen that before. Very similar to the Jordan 1 tread pattern. And it's a nice black color. It's got Nike branding at the midfoot, pivot point there at the front. And of course, this is a basketball shoe. Came out around the same time that the Jordan 1 did. So they're very similar as far as the outsole goes. As you come up, you can see that black outsole meets a bright white midsole, and it's got bright white stitching. And overall, I think these look really clean. There was one flaw that kind of jumped out at me whenever I was first looking at these when they first came, and that is just that it looks like on the swoosh on the right shoe, it looks like maybe they got a little bit of glue on it or something at the factory, and then they tried wiping it off. I don't even know if it's that evident. I might just be nitpicky, but it kind of made it look a little bit more frayed and a little bit more fuzzy. And whenever you see it in just the right light, you can see that there's a little bit of like substance on there that is just like kind of dried on. It definitely looks like glue got on there and they try to correct it, but they probably just made it look more messy than it did. But aside from that, I think the shape of these is really nice. I really love the colors. Materials are what you'd expect for a non-premium Dunk Low. It is a GR Dunk Low, and it's not even like a special edition or anything. So materials are very, very synthetic feeling, but it's the same level of quality that you would get on a Panda Dunk Low. So the quality isn't really anything to write home about. However, I love the style of these. I think they'd be really good for this time of year, both because of the colors and just because these materials are easy to wipe off. But then coming up from that bright white midsole, you can see here, this is our first look at this black synthetic leather. All the overlays are this black smooth leather. There's not a whole lot of texture to it. It's pretty smooth, and as I mentioned before, it does feel pretty synthetic, but that's nothing new with Dunks. But we've got that on the mud guard, going up the eye stays, wrapping around the base of the heel, and also at the top of the heel where we see that Nike branding. And then for the base of these, that's where we see that gray fog. And again, there's not much texture on there. It's a pretty smooth synthetic leather, but I really, really love the color of it. I think it looks really good with the black. And I think that along with this Chenille swoosh, I just think these are really neat. They're a little bit more unique than what most Dunks are, and I really, really appreciate that. But you can see this gray leather here on the toe box with the perforations, and then you can see it on the side panels underneath that big old Chenille swoosh. And then you can also see it on the back there with those classic rows of stitching. I think if you've got a sneakerhead in the family or a Dunk fan in the family, this would be an ideal pair to get them for Christmas. Right now, I think Dunks are easier to get than what they've ever been. And the reasonable price, it makes them a solid choice for me. The materials aren't anything that'll really wow you, but I do really like this unique look with the oversized swoosh. The actual Chenille on this swoosh is black in color, and then it looks like it's got some like charcoal colored stitching going around the very edges of that to create a little bit of a border. But then just behind that, it looks like there's a gray fog colored piece of felt that makes another border. But it's very similar to what you would see on Letterman jackets, and I don't know if that's still a thing or not, but whenever people played sports and I went to school, they always had letters representing their school on their jacket like that. But it's a really neat effect. I really like the different shades of gray that border that black swoosh. Hopefully you can see them there. As always, we've got some Nike branding here on the heel tab, and that looks like it's in a bright white color, and that really pops off there a lot like the bright white midsole does. They only gave us flat black laces in these. I think they'd look good with gray. I think they'd look good with white. I think you could do a lot with that, just any shade of gray really. And then for the tongue, it's a nylon material. It's your standard nylon Dunk tongue. That's in a gray fog color, and the piping going along the edges is also in a gray fog color. A lot like the tab on the back, the tag on the tongue is black in color, and it's got bright white Nike branding on there. And then for our sock liner, that's a gray fog color, and our insole is gray fog as well with some black Nike branding down on the bottom. I'm going to throw these on real quick and show you how they look whenever you're wearing them. I really love the way these things look on feet. And like I mentioned before, they have color blocking similar to the Pandas, but that swoosh really sets them apart from most Dunk lows. Really gives them an interesting and unique look, but at the same time, it's not too much. Like, they still look like a classic pair of retro basketball shoes. But I'm really loving these. For Dunk lows, I go true to size. For Dunk highs, I always go up a half size, but Dunk lows fit me very similar to what Jordan 1s fit me. But you'll have to let me know what you all think about these. I think these will make a perfect pair of beaters. And I bet if you go to the mall, you won't see 100 people wearing these like you see wearing the Pandas all the time. Alright, so hopefully y'all were able to get a good look at these Chenille Swoosh Dunk Lows. I think for the price point, they're a dope looking pair of kicks. The quality isn't phenomenal, but they came out clean. There's not a lot of QC issues or anything, and you can't go wrong with Dunk Low style. But anyhow, let me know what you think of these, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out.